Another day, another real-world test. Today we're doing it on the Nothing Ear 2s, the new transparent earbuds from Nothing. And right now, we're in SoHo, a neighborhood here in Manhattan, and as per the usual, we'll explore a bit, all while we test out these earbuds. But first things first. Coffee. Check. This is Sangster's Cafe, a Jamaican coffee shop here in Soho. Now this cafe roasts beans from a 44-acre family-owned farm in Jamaica's Blue Mountain region, which was started by Jamaica's second Prime Minister, Sir Donald Sangster, in 1981. Also, fun fact, Donald Sangster is actually the face of Jamaica's $100 note. Sir Sangster's grandson, Bindley Sangster, who actually grew up on the farm, runs the company now after formerly being in the US military. Now he's been using some pretty unconventional methods to get his business to grow, like sliding into the DMs of the CEO of the Golden Dubai Diamond Exchange to ask him to meet Jamaican diplomats and send him coffee samples. Clever. Now because of all this entrepreneurial drive, Sangster has been recognized by the Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade Ministry as well as local trade and investment agencies as a crucial individual for foreign direct investments for Jamaica. Okay. Let's start with the design of the Nothing Ear 2. And at first glance, it's still very much Nothing's design. We have the same transparent look that they have now added to their phones and all of their products, and while next to the original it looks like everything is identical, there are some subtle design changes. Firstly, the case is actually a tad smaller and lighter, which is always appreciated, and holding the Ear 2, you can tell that even though both cases are made from plastic, the new case just feels more solid. According to Nothing, the plastic is actually different and is stronger, apparently, so it should resist more scratches than last year. Something as someone who has the horrible habit of throwing my earbuds in my pocket, usually where my keys are, I appreciate that, and they definitely don't look as bad as they should, considering that fact. Flipping both cases over, the new Ear 2 case is molded more and has indents around where the earbuds go, compared to the flat piece of the last case. Maybe that's to save some of that weight we mentioned. The buds themselves are also very slightly different. They're a little taller and just a tad lighter. And interestingly, the buds are now IP54 instead of IPX4, which means they've been rated for some dust resistance, that first number after the IP, and the same water resistance as before, with the next number being the same 4 rating. So splashing water from any direction is fine. And that means that sweating to some degree or getting caught in the rain is fine. But they'll have a hard time if you dunk them. What we're walking over right now is a model of the Manhattan subway system, or at least the 156 stops of the system as it was in 1985 when the piece was installed. Aptly titled Subway Map Floating on a New York City Sidewalk, the Belgian artist Francois Schijn made this piece of art using stainless steel bars, terrazzo flooring, and lights embedded into the ground. Now each LED light is under a round glass orb that was hand-blown by the artist herself and is powered from the basements of nearby buildings so that they glow at night. The map is 90 feet long and 12 feet wide, and apparently she couldn't fit Brooklyn and Queens on the sidewalk. We'll forgive her. Francois Schijn was trained as an architect and works in between art and urban design. She has also produced several large-scale works in subway stations, Paris, Sao Paulo, and Stockholm, to name a few. Now this project was sponsored by Goldman Properties and estimated to cost around $30,000 to produce. It actually won the City Art Commission Award for the Best Art Project of the Year in 1985. Speaking of noisy things like the subway, let's talk about the sound and the noise canceling on the Nothing Ear 2. We have 40 decibels of active noise canceling compared to the 30 decibels of the Ear 1. And if you want to learn how that works, I did a video a long time ago in my Decoder Explainer series that I'll link below. Regardless, it definitely eliminates sounds better than it did. Just be sure to run the test to figure out the proper ear tips, as you should with all earbuds, as it makes a huge difference. And most earbuds, including these, have a test in their app to help. We also have new custom drivers, even if they're the same size as the last model. They are no longer apparently off the shelf like they were last year. We have dual chambers in the earbuds to help with reverb by allowing air to move around the drivers a bit better, and a higher grade magnet to help with the movement. Overall, they definitely sound better than the Ear 1 did. Okay, if you're a fan of the series and you've seen me do earbud real world tests before, then you know what's coming. The Ear.
And if you aren't familiar, this ear here has a microphone running through the back of it, which is running into my camera. Now, I'm going to use this to attempt to show you what the earbuds all sound like. It is not going to be amazing, but I feel like it's probably better than nothing. So let's get started.
Okay, hopefully that's still better than nothing. You guys let me know in the comments below though. Now besides the sound that you hear from them, they supposedly now have 3 mics on each earbud, and that's to help with voice pickup and noise canceling for you on a call. First, this is what I sound like coming out of an iPhone, my simulated coffee shop sounds. Here's what I sound like with my voice coming out of the Apple AirPods Pro 2. Here's what my voice sounds like coming out of the Nothing Ear 2s. Here's what my voice sounds like coming out of the Nothing Ear 1s. Here's what my voice sounds like coming out of the Google Pixel Buds Pro. Here's what my voice sounds like coming out of the Sony WF-1000 Smart 5. Speaking of ears, we're here at the Earin, which is one of the oldest operating drinking establishments in New York City, dating back to 1817. The building itself was built around 1770 for a man named James Brown, who was an African aide to George Washington during the Revolutionary War. He is rumored to be the only person of color shown in the famous painting Washington Crossing the Delaware. Now, Brown commissioned the building with money he made from a lucrative career in the tobacco industry. The bar was informally known as the Green Door because of its entryway. It was finally given a name, though, when current owners Martin Sheridan and Richard Rip Heyman took over in 1977. They apparently called it the Earin to avoid the Landmark Commission's lengthy review of new signage by just covering the round parts of the long-standing neon bar sign, leaving it to read Ear, although now it seems the R is also just dead. This was also an ode to Ear magazine, a music-themed monthly that was at the time published upstairs. Now officially, this is the oldest bar in New York City that has continuously served alcohol since 1817. Okay, a few other important changes here on the Nothing Ear 2. First, the controls have been changed so that now you squeeze the stick of the earbud to control them instead of a tap. Basically, it's the same as how AirPods work. Now the idea is that this stops accidental taps, and in that respect, it does. You are obviously way less likely to pinch the crap out of your earbud than you are to just brush against it as a tap. The one thing I wish they did though, that an annoying number of headphones these days just don't, is a simple swiping to raise or lower the volume. So by default, you can't control the volume at all, but when you change it so that you can, the only option you have is to hold to pinch the earbud, and then over a few seconds, it'll go up by a tiny %. If you continue to hold it, it will eventually get to where you want it to be. Now, truthfully though, it's moments like this that it's just way easier to take out the phone and tap the volume rocker, which of course defeats the purpose. Now, one thing that they did add that works very well on these, that a surprising number of earbuds don't come with, is Bluetooth multipoint, aka the ability to connect the earbuds to 2 separate devices at once. Honestly, I've had this feature on a couple of other earbuds, like the Sony WF-1000X Mark 5s, which a real-world test is coming on those soon. Subscribe and ding the bell if you want to see that. But it's great. Now, I paired them to my MacBook Pro and phone, and if I use one over the other, it seamlessly switches between them. It takes a few seconds to swap, but that's normal, and it's not a big issue. Maybe the tech will get faster over time, but it's still miles above having to fiddle with Bluetooth to pair and unpair it to get it to work. Okay, so battery life on the earbuds with ANC on, which is how you will probably use them most of the time, is about 22.5 hours with the case versus the 24 of last year. And my usage would say that's pretty much correct. The buds themselves last about 4 hours with ANC on, which isn't good enough for a cross-country or transatlantic flight, which isn't ideal, but it's not bad for the price and level of ANC. Now, better ANC usually means more battery. If you turn ANC off, you get a proposed 6.3 hours of playback and 36 in total with the case, so a bit better than last year. Regardless, 10 minutes of it being plugged into the case gets you 40% back, which is nice. They also support wireless charging, but of course that won't be that fast, but I do appreciate it being here regardless, as I have a ton of wireless chargers all over my apartment and office at this point. Okay, so overall, it feels like a pretty decent refinement over the Nothing Ear ones. It feels like a proper second-gen product. The one downside, though, is that there is a 50% increase in price from $999, which they launched out last year, to $150 this year. But in my opinion, the multi-point, which I use constantly, as well as the better sound quality and the better ANC, definitely make it a lot easier to justify the price. And they're just solid for $150 pair of headphones, especially if you just want ones that look a little different, which I'm sure nothing is counting on. But you guys let me know in the comments below. Always appreciate hearing from you guys. Let me know what you thought of my video and the weird format that I do. Hope you appreciate that still, as well as the earbuds themselves. And I will, as always, leave the best price that I can find on these earbuds in the description below. But there you go. It's been a very long day of filming, as always, and I'm exhausted. So, good night. Coffee. The loud car set off the car alarm on the block I'm on. Very normal for me. This is every day. Traffic. We have the same transparent look that they motorcycle. And while next to the original, it looks like everything is design changes. People need to get the brakes sorted out. They're squeaky. Oiled now. Brakes. Get your brakes fixed, everybody. Do us all a favor. Where is he? Oh, there he is. Washington Quant. I hear it. Where is it? There it is. Trucks. I'm next to a UPS depot. I just noticed. Because every 2 seconds. It's my luck. It makes total sense. I would sit right down next to that.